I really fucking love snacks.
Hello and welcome to Snack Time. I am your host, Lindsay Adams. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, blah, 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 please do it. I'm very grateful and embarrassed to have to beg you for it. I am really excited for today's guest because not only is she a very fantastic comedy writer and comedian, but she's also a foodie. I hate that word, but whatever. Anyway, Alison, welcome.
Hello.
How are you? Thanks for doing the pod.
Oh my God, thank you for having me. I also hate the word foodie, but I don't know how else to distinguish between caring a lot about food and people who don't care a lot about food. There's no other.
I know. Well, also because people are like, I love food. And then I'm like, but do you?
Do you? How do you, it's about how you think about it and how you appreciate it. It's everybody loves food. I mean, well, not everybody, but most people outside of Los Angeles love food. I love eating.
I know. It's my favorite thing. I'm so excited to come. Every time I go to New York, I'm just like, give me all the foods. I just wander looking for food all day.
There's so much good food here.
I know.
Nuts. I mean, there's a lot of also really good food in Los Angeles, but
for sure,
you can't wander around. I guess that's
you can't wander around. And also, I feel like LA isn't quite as gimmicky unless you're in a real tourist area, which I don't like. And I'm pretty into the gimmicks. I like the stuff where they're like, look at these crazy milkshakes. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Let's get into it. That's it's exactly what I'm yes, I will appreciate an incredible crudo or wonderful super high-end fine dining meal. And I will also be yeah, I'll fuck around with a cronut. Let's see what's happening, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not, my taste is low bottom, highbrow or whatever. But I'm just if it tastes good, I like things that look wild too.
Me too.
If it looks extravagant and psychotic, but then my standards are really high in terms of there's a lot of, I think it's a Chinese bakery out here who has the most gorgeous stuff.
Oh,
it tastes like air. And I'm like, I want it creamy.
Yeah. Or even the trend of the gold leaf and gold foil on stuff. And I'm that does look crazy. And I love that it looks so insane, but it doesn't taste like anything. So why would I spend the money? I think spending a lot of money on stuff that tastes really good is absolutely reasonable. Spending a lot of money on stuff that looks good but doesn't taste good is the dumbest thing I can think of doing.
I completely agree. I want to know the ingredients. I'm get me back in that fucking kitchen.
I want to see them make it.
Yeah. And show me the French butter.
Yes. Yes.
One of the places I love, Supermoon Bakehouse.
Yeah.
That's that's what I feel is very fun, the meeting place of very fun and also
very good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I went with my friend who's my best friend is a pastry chef in New York. And I really defer to, sometimes I'm I don't know if this is good. Can you tell me?
Right.
Just with cause things like that, you're is this, and she was who took me there and was oh my, and we got a couple of croissants and shared them all and whatever. And I was just oh, if you think this is good, I trust that this is also not just fun and oh, that's kind of tasty, but that it is well done pastry.
100%. And there's so much. I mean, I'm a pastry bitch though. So I'm all find me a croissant, find me the sweet stuff. But
yes.
But yeah, so much good food. Yeah, I mean, and snacks are for sure a part of that. Which is great.
Snacks are so important.
Snacks are important. It's so funny too, though, because obviously LA entertainment industry, I've had so many people on who are I don't really eat snacks anymore, which I respect.
I guess.
But I do think they're one of the most enjoyable food categories.
And also, like, there's ways to eat snacks in which it's like I eat like my company that like I am for writing is literally called Snack Lunch because like I will eat like a bunch of snacks for
That's
lunch
right.
every day. And like I just had snack lunch before we hopped on this because I was eating like I have these like super high end like, you know, fancy like whole wheat, free range, hormone free chicken nuggets that I buy.
Oh my God, love.
And I coat them in Old Bay and bake them. And they're like super low calorie because there are 4 children.
Yeah.
But like you just need like a couple of them and it kind of like scratches the fried food itch without like really being crazy and without being like a letdown because they're super flavorful. But I had like a couple of chicken nuggets, a little thing of like mozzarella and pesto with pine nuts I had left over, and then like some cut up celery and some like mini peppers and like 1 or 2 like little cucumbers, and then some potato chips. And I was like, this is a meal and some grapes.
I like, honestly, I worship that. That is like, it's like essentially you make a charcuterie board.
Yes. It's a tasting menu.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That is very much my style. Although for me, it ends up being like loose lunch meat.
Totally. I'm just out of turkey.
Yeah, I took bacon with me in the car yesterday going to a show. I like wrap
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I always like whenever I go to a restaurant or go somewhere, I like the ability.
A little bit of everything.
Yes.
Right. I'm coming to the restaurant. I want to see everything they've got to offer. Like it's the frustration of like my love of dining alone because I really do enjoy just like sitting at the bar and having a couple snacks and like being alone. I can like be with my phone or I can engage the bartender. Like you have that choice.
Right.
And then like being able to, but like also I want to eat a little bit, like it's $70 every time I do that because I get like 2 appetizers and an entree and like a dessert. And I'm like, like so much of it I can't even finish. And I'm like, This is why eating with a group is fun because like you all order a bunch of stuff and share it. And I can't dine with people who don't want to do that.
I can 100%. My husband like will order one thing and then he just sticks with that. And it's like, that's such a high risk situation for me because I want to try the new stuff, but I want to make sure like I get a little, because if it's like too cheesy which isn't a real thing, but like, but like if it's got like an element that I'm like, this is too much, I'm like, if I need to balance it. And so we do need to order the whole menu.
And like very few, I mean, I guess it's hard because like depends on what kind of restaurant you're talking about, but like very few restaurants have a dish that has like protein and starch and like cheese and veggies and like something that's cold and something that's hot. And like, I kind of want all of that when I'm eating, which is why like the square meal does appeal to me when I'm at home, like having like a piece of fish and some rice and a little salad and like a little bread and butter. Like I'm like, well, I'm getting a little bit of everything here. But very rarely do you like find that in a restaurant meal that's going to be like satisfying. And I don't know. I just want everything.
I know. Oh my God. I literally can't relate more. And that's the thing too. It's like, generally I eat like pretty healthy snacks. Like, I am now an adult whose body can't quite handle my, like what I want. But if I'm gonna buy snacks, I am gonna go nuts.
Yeah. I also like crave vegetables and fruits all the time. So like, which is why snacking, like I want like, I'm not like, all right, force yourself to eat some celery and some grapes. I'm like, I always have those in my house because I like munching on them throughout the day. And they go great with, if you're having a few chicken nuggets, like it's nice to have some crunchy celery. If you're like eating cheese, it's nice to have grapes. Like those things, like there's a reason that they're like paired together in restaurant dishes. It's because they go well together.
No, you're totally right. I also love that you eat chicken nuggets. I appreciate it. It's like, I don't know the last time I bought chicken nuggets. I think like, no, I don't know.
This brand, they're frozen. This brand, I think they come in a big blue bag or like a small blue box. They have like a couple of different products, but they have chicken nuggets. I think it's called Earth's Best is the brand.
Oh, I think like I'm familiar.
Yeah, you've definitely seen it. Like I think they're at like I've gotten them at Whole Foods. Like I think I've gotten them at Lassen's. Is that it? That's the
Yeah.
place, right?
You guys have Lawson's out there?
No. When I was in LA.
Oh, I see. I was like, interesting.
No, but like they're around. They're at grocery stores. Like I've seen them at Fairway. Like they're really, really good. And it's like 4 nuggets is 100 calories or like something like that, where you're like, all right, so I could eat 8 chicken nuggets and it like is the kind of like protein, like, and if you just like crisp them up a lot in the oven, they're so good. And like, I find if I keep them around, my craving for like, ooh, like, you know, when you just like need like fried food, like you're just like, oh, my body is craving French fries or onion rings or chicken tenders or like anything in that world. I find that like it does scratch that itch like pretty well. Like I would say still once a month, I'm like, I need to go get some fries. Like this is crazy. But like at home, like if like you kind of want that and the alternative is I'm going to order on Grubhub and like pay a ton of money for a diner to bring me like mediocre chicken tenders that'll be cold by the time they get here.
Yeah.
Or I can pop like 5 or 6 of these in the oven and for like 150 calories actually like get that satisfaction and get like a filling like protein and like tasty kind of little treat. It's just, it saves me.
No, I love that. And also that makes so much sense. I feel like there's a category of food where it's like there's things like, you know, the low calorie ice creams, like the light ice creams. To me, I'm like, that's not ice cream.
I don't want that.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I don't want, that's not ice cream. Like if I'm getting ice cream, I'm going to I'm going to get like top notch, like egg cream, like custard.
Yes.
But as like a snack, if there's like a brand that I found that's like Swedish and it's actually pretty good. And
I trust them.
Yeah. It's called like Mix and there's like 250 calories in a pint and it's like actually delicious, but it's like, that's not all of those companies like Halo Top. They try to market their shit like you're going to eat it like ice cream.
Right.
And it's like, no, it's not ice cream. It's like a pudding.
Yes. Yeah. It's still like in the dessert world and it's still like a cold treat, but like it shouldn't be competing with ice cream. It should be competing with like going out and getting frozen yogurt. You know, it should be competing with like that. Like that's what they should be putting it up against. In the same, I think of pizza very similarly. Like there's good pizza and then there's Domino's. And those are 2 different things. It doesn't mean I don't like both of them. It means like when I'm craving like a big greasy cheese slice, like that's what I want to get. But sometimes I'm like, I kind of just want a Domino's thin crust and like, that's okay too.
Yes. No, literally my husband and I talk about this all the fucking time because sometimes and like during the pandemic, it's also so cheap and it's like incredible to go from ordering the most expensive pizza.
Yep.
For them, like they just throw free shit at you.
Yes.
They're like, pay $1 and you get cheese sticks. I'm like, of course I'm gonna fucking like, and you're right. It's not pizza. But
it is like it's still like a craving in the way that like, you know, a fast food burger is not going to be the same craving as like wanting like a big juicy, like hot off the grill, like good burger with like Pat LaFrida beef. Like, but you still crave both of them in different ways.
Totally. I absolutely agree. And I feel similarly, I like about fried chicken because I really fucking like fried chicken.
Me too.
And I like wings, but I like when it's the whole wing. Like,
yes, I like the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want the full ass wing. And, and like, I also don't like it spicy because I'm a pussy.
Sure.
So I'm like very picky about that versus chicken fingers versus like.
Yeah. Those are all different things.
Yeah, exactly. So, I really respect that. I like might now have to like check out chicken nuggets.
I would say like, give it a whirl, like see what it does for you.
I love it. What other snacks do you eat regularly?
I'm a huge cheese and crackers person. Cheese and cracks. It's the best. Like a variety of different mixes of kinds of crackers or cheeses, but like always with like apple or grapes.
Ooh, yes.
Like I like having that like just eating a bunch of cheese and crackers, like I'm like, ugh. But like if I'm having also some grapes, I'm like, oh, this is like a meal.
Well, it's the balance. It's all
Yeah.
about the fucking balance.
Yeah. I always have cheese and crackers in my house, and I always have grapes or an apple around. Like those are just two things that I love.
I love apple. Apple season is like now.
I know. It's so good.
I'm so excited.
I love putting apples on like a turkey and cheddar and spinach sandwich.
Mm-hmm. I
Or
mean,
like
you
with
can
brie.
throw apples in anything. Like I remember when I had Hirosi's on Passover, like when I was growing up. And it's like, do you know what that is? It's like
Yeah. Like the apple and
yeah. I was like, this
cinnamon.
is incredible. You can
Yes.
eat I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever tasted.
And like, I don't know where you are, but like, I don't like applesauce. I love apples, but I don't like applesauce. I like crunch. I'm like a very texture-based eater.
Me too.
I like crunch. It's like really important.
Okay, we have to go eat when I
know. When you come, we'll go to some places in New York.
I literally can't. I can't handle anyone that can't appreciate texture. No,
it's all about texture.
It is. Like I love apple butter, but I won't. Like apple butter is a much, much better. It's a different thing. Obviously, it's a spread, but it's a much, much better texture than applesauce.
Yeah, applesauce, oatmeal, like that world just doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah. How do you feel about baked oats? That's a thing right now.
I've never had that. It's just like I feel like my breakfast is like I'll be like on something for a while and then like fully like so like I'll like eat only yogurt for like a month and then I'm like I can't have yogurt in my house. I will throw up. And then like I'm on cereal and then I'm on toast and then I'm on an egg. Like so, but oatmeal and like the thing like the world of like steel cut oats and overnight oats and whatever like just doesn't really like come into my world because I'm not the biggest fan. I also like despite saying yogurt, I am not a huge sweet breakfast person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually not either. I don't really eat breakfast because I end up, I put heavy cream in my coffee.
Yeah.
So I end up like just not hungry for a bit. But when it comes to like when I go to sit down and eat breakfast, I guess I will. I want the balance. Like if I go out for brunch, that's why chicken and waffles is so fucking good.
Yeah, because I want a savory and a sweet. Like I'm always like, if it's like more than two of us, I'm like, let's get a French toast for the table that we can like nosh on. In addition to each getting our egg dishes that we're getting.
Right, exactly. And I will also I like, but I won't order like the crazy pancakes generally. Like if they go somewhere, I'm more inclined to do like the balanced plate. Then like a muffin with butter on the side.
Yes. That's like more my speed. I'm a big proponent of eating vegetables at breakfast too. Like I'm a big, like, I always just have like crunchy vegetables in my house. Cause like I grew up like eating a lot of vegetables. Like we didn't ever use canned vegetables in my house. My mom was like a huge, like, we always had carrots and green peppers and celery and cucumbers in the house to just like snack on, which like, I'm so glad I had. Cause like as an adult, like, it's not, I mean, how many men specifically in comedy have you met that like are like, ew, there's lettuce on my plate, get it off. Like, it's just like,
that's so funny and specific and true.
Like it is just like baby palates and like, they're just like, I just want pizza and french fries. And it's just like, you should eat vegetables. Like you're all going to die soon.
I know exactly. Well, it's also funny because it's like, and I don't know how old you are, but it's also funny to be like, you know, like when I was a teenager, I was like, when you're in your 30s, you're like an adult. And so it's like hilarious to go out with people who are like, can you take this lettuce off?
Yeah. I'm 37 and I feel like I'm now at the point with like a lot of my like male peers where like they all seem to eat some vegetables now. But I remember like early in comedy, especially, and like until pretty recently, like being with like guy comics, especially. Not that there aren't women who are like this too, but I think women have been forced to care about dieting in a way that men never have. So like women adjusted to salad very young. So like guys are like just learning it now. And I'm like, you're 35 and you have like 15 like borderline diseases from the fact that you've never eaten a vegetable. Like eat vegetables, like they're good. Like I promise you can find. I'm glad that like the rise of like Brussels sprouts and like cauliflower, buffalo cauliflower has like happened because I think that that's like gotten a lot of baby men into like the phase of eating some produce.
Yes. No, I'm like big on roasting vegetables because I don't want to wait around.
Yes.
So I just throw them on a pan and then walk away. And it's great.
That's the best. But I always like when I'm having breakfast, like if I'm having like a scrambled egg or like a piece of toast, like I'll always cut up like a couple pieces of celery or like have a couple of carrots or a cucumber cut up just like also with it. And it makes such a difference. And it makes me so angry how hard it is to find vegetables at breakfast in most restaurant settings.
Honestly, that's true. Well, sometimes they'll throw like, they were big, like the health food substitution for breakfast stuff for a while was cottage cheese and tomato, like a slice of tomato.
Yes.
And I was like, honestly, the tomato part isn't that bad. Like this is like
I know.
Like, I don't need like a full, like, I mean, it's like, honestly.
I don't need a salad, but.
No.
Like,
although
I just want some.
I have gotten a side salad instead of like hash browns or something.
For sure. And like sometimes I'm like, can I just have the salad and the hash browns? Just charge me for one of them. I don't even care. I just like want a little bit like, again, it's the balance of like, I'm going to have like fried potatoes and like a cheesy egg thing. And then I want like a little bit of acid and like a little bit of just like crunchy produce to like offset all the grease.
Yeah.
Oh, kitty. I love cats.
Oh yeah. This is Sugar Bear.
Sugar Bear.
She's, I know I'm obsessed with cats too. She's
I love cats.
16 and she's just a grandma.
What an old lady.
I know she's an old lady and she's like at the point now where she just howls and like it always feels concerning. And then she's just like, oh, I just like couldn't find you. Like she'll be howling and walk into like when she wakes up, like she'll wake herself up meowing. I know. It's like honestly
it's so cute.
It's the cutest thing in the world. She just like comes out of it and is like,
whoa, what happened?
do you have a cat?
I don't. I have like a couple of close friends who do, so I kind of get my fill.
Yeah.
But I'm always like a month away from being like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a cat. And then I'm like, you're just not that person. And I grew up having cats. So like, I love cats, but like,
got it.
I just know myself and like where I am right now. And I'm like, I don't know if like bringing a responsibility into the mix is what I should be doing.
Yeah. I don't think that's how I feel about dogs. I love dogs so much. And everyone's like, why don't you get a dog? And I'm like, because I would like to consider having a child and I like truly, I mean, and who knows, but also I truly don't want to get up in the morning to walk a dog.
Right. It's like when people are like, it's good practice. I'm like, you're burning yourself out. It's like, I feel like getting a dog to prepare for having a child is like, remember that old piece of advice where people would be like, wear your heels around your house before you go out at night to get used to them. It's like, no, now I'm just like making it worse because now I've been in heels for 2 hours when I've only been out for 15 minutes. Like that's 100%. A bad, like, no, and don't also, wear yourself out.
Yeah. Wear the heels for the 20 minutes that you need them.
Right.
Like that makes the difference. And then put them in your purse.
Right.
Like
there's I mean, I'll never wear heels again. Like, I think it's over. It's over.
Yeah, no. Like if I'm at like a wedding, I'll wear like, and then I take them off immediately. I'll be like, good pick, the end.
I found like a couple of pairs. I know this is like not related to snacks at all, but that have just like a low, like a low block heel where it's like an inch heel. And I'm like, this I can do. It just feels like it's like basic. It's like lower than some people's boots. And I'm like, this is fine. This is all I'll do.
100%. I like am shocked that I wore heels so much when I was younger. Just like
crazy.
Like, especially like in like a city, like when I lived in Chicago or when I was New York,
when you're like walking and getting on the train and like walking up and down stairs constantly, like it's crazy.
I would take the path in from New Jersey when I was a teenager.
Oh my God.
I know. I was like
in heels,
in full heels and wander around for like miles and just come home wrecked. And it was like I don't know what I was even thinking. And it was like the gross, remember the super pointy heel?
Yes. What are they call them?
Like,
Roach killers? Because you can
oof,
kill a roach in the corner of a room.
yeah,
Because they're so pointy. Yeah,
that's
it's
so
and now I'm like, yeah, like I remember like my 20s in New York when I would wear just like super high heels, like 4 or 5 inch heels with like jeans. Like it's not like I was also wearing like a little dress or whatever. It was just like
no,
doing
it
that
was
and like
jeans.
gallivanting around the city. And now,
Yeah,
like, if I'm going to more than one location, if I'm doing like a show and then meeting somebody for a dinner, like, I'm like, well, I got to wear sneakers tonight. I can't even wear my loafers. I better wear
absolutely.
sneakers because, like, you're going to be moving around.
Absolutely. I mean, I even driving, I'm just
Oh,
like,
driving, I could
I,
never.
I'm I'm just like, no, even if I'm driving to like more than one location out here, I'm just like, no, absolutely not. Like if I'm going to one, I will be like, I'll wear boots
Mhm.
but if I have to stand for like a little bit, no, thank you.
No,
Like
no, it's
not
over.
no, not interested. Um well, I want to get into your favorite childhood snack because it's a
Yes.
classic.
I assumed it's one that I was going to be like, I can also pivot. There's like a lot of, I grew up in a snack house. So like I could have pivoted, but I could also talk about this one forever.
I love it. Okay, so yours is cheddar goldfish.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I love them.
A classic. They and I think I mentioned like they have updated goldfish since like in the past like couple years, I guess, to be like
Yeah.
bit flavor blast.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I
But
feel like,
this
yeah,
is
the past couple of
OG.
years, but this is like the original cheddar goldfish. It was like before there were even like, I think like they were like, they're baked. Like that was the thing. It was like, they're not
Yeah,
fried, they're baked. It's like they're fried at some point, I assume, but you know,
absolutely. Well, that was the thing I think like in the 90s. It was like a
yes.
big deal that everybody was like, this is a baked cracker. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't feel like they ever fried crackers.
Right.
So
Right.
like you could just say it's not a potato chip.
Yes. Yeah. I love goldfish because like Pepperidge Farm really understands packaging in a way that I think few other snack companies have figured out. Because goldfish came in either the standard like foil lined bag that Milano's also came in and all the cook
Right.
like all the sweet and savory like goldfish all came in them and like it was just so easy because you could like pour them out easily, but you could also stick your hand in. But then they
Mhm.
also came in, I think like as the the tail end of my childhood, they started coming in the little milk cartons
Yes.
and then the giant milk carton of them,
Yes.
the giant cardboard carton of them. And like that, I was just like, if you walked into somebody's house and they had the big carton of goldfish, you were like, I am in the right place. Like this is good.
100%. Well, because also they're small enough and have like the weight enough that you would pour them out
Yes.
versus grab
Reaching your hand.
handfuls,
Right.
which is smart because it's like the size of cereal.
Yeah, it is. But they're also like not so big or so like they're kind of the perfect size to me.
Yeah, for
Like I
munching.
think, yeah, for like, and like I think I remember like, in the calorie counting days of like late childhood, early adolescence, like a
Yeah.
serving size of goldfish was 55 goldfish. And like, that's a lot.
Yeah. That's a
Like, it's
lot.
nice to know like that they know like, yeah, you eat a lot of these at once because you sit like there's almost a popcorn vibe to them, the way you eat them.
Yeah, it's like a more significant kind of thing.
Right.
And I loved plain goldfish.
Me too.
Did
I would
you?
get plain gold. Yeah, because they had the blue on the front, right? They were like the original, and it was just like
Yes.
a non-flavored. But they were super. They were like heartier, saltier oyster crackers.
Exactly.
They were
And
so good with soup, and they were.
yep.
I would get a string cheese and a tiny bowl of regular goldfish, and also like kind of like create goldfish, like cheesy goldfish in my mouth.
Yes.
They were
No,
so good.
they were so good.
Do they still make the original? I have not seen them in a really long. I haven't looked super hard, but like sometimes at a
Yeah.
bodega or like when I'm at like a grocery store that has a lot of like a good snack aisle, like I'll be
Yeah.
like, I could definitely like fuck with some like original plain goldfish right now, and I just have not seen them.
You know what? I don't know. Let me Google this really quickly because I forgot about them until I was doing research for this. And I was
Mhm.
like, which I also found out they make barbecue goldfish. Did you know that? Or maybe they used to, but they definitely made it at one point. It was one of the original flavors.
I've never seen them. The other flavor that I really loved, and again, I have not seen these in forever, and I would buy the absolute shit out of them if I saw them at a store, is the Parmesan Goldfish.
I was just thinking that.
They were
so they
so
do
good.
sell original goldfish, by the way.
Okay, that's good to know.
I guess at Target, Target, it's like I've noticed with like snacks in general, you mentioned a bodega, like it's so specific to keep track of which places carry which kind of versions. Like Target does its own thing. Unfortunately, Walmart has great weird snacks, and I just like don't want to buy their shit because they're monsters.
I know.
But they have like very cool, wild, like limited edition, like Pop-Tarts and shit like that. Yeah. So it's hard, and then, the independent grocery stores and like bodegas, little shops. I walked past a smoke shop on Melrose the other day that had a snack aisle that was like international and niche. And I was like, what
I
are
love
you guys
that.
doing? Yeah. I was really fucking excited about that. So I feel like we could find the Parmesan Goldfish.
Yeah, I think they're still out there. It would like they were so good. And I just really, really love them. And I would I'm like, those are a cracker that I think like it's been, probably 20 years since I've had one, which would make me 17 the last time I had them, which is crazy. I'm like, oh, half my life, more than. But like, I think they're the kind of cracker that I would have now that I'd be like, this holds up as like still being something I like. Whereas like, there are definitely like some childhood snacks where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't like this now. Like I can appreciate the nostalgia factor, but like, I don't think it's something I could like buy and consume regularly. But Parmesan Goldfish, I think I definitely could.
Yes.
With tomato soup?
Yes. I would fuck with the plain ones too. Literally like now I'm thinking about it because you throw them in with like, it's just a nice handful. Although I would probably eat too many. How do you feel about Goldfish versus Cheez-Its? Because they have a similar vibe.
And I think like, so I grew up in a house where like, I think like some of your snacking comes from like what your parents like. And like 100%. My parents are not so like Cheez-Its weren't something that they liked. So like we didn't keep it in the house. So my mom bought Goldfish for me because it seemed more child like, oh, here's your cheesy snack. So like we never had Cheez-Its. So like I got very adjusted to the texture and cheesiness and saltiness of Goldfish that like I actually don't enjoy Cheez-Its because to me, I'm always waiting for them to be Goldfish. Not that I think they're better. I don't think they're better or worse, but I'm always just like, oh, this isn't what I was thinking it was going to be whenever I eat them. So like, so like I didn't grow up eating Cheez-Its and therefore like it's not a snack I love. There's kind of nothing that because like I don't buy Cheddar Goldfish anymore either. But like now instead I just buy like I'd rather have like a Triscuit with cheese on it than a Cheez-It.
Don't tell Blair Saki that.
I know. She's got some polarizing views.
No, I agree with you. It always gets a little disappointing when I'm like, this really doesn't hit the spot. But we didn't eat Cheez-Its in our house either.
Yeah.
I think because like they were seen as more unhealthy too.
Yes.
So like part of the brilliant marketing that you were talking about with Pepperidge Farm is that they like really didn't jazz it up too much to look artificial. Yeah. They kept it pretty like, here's a cracker amongst the cookies. Like,
yes. Yeah. They just really like were unwavering. Like the cookies are all fancy and named after cities in Europe. And then we'll also have Goldfish and a few other things. And like, they just like stuck with it in a way where I'm like, they're incredible.
What are the other savory snacks that Pepperidge Farm has though?
I don't know.
I think they have breadsticks.
Yes. Oh, and like, I think like, did they make sesame sticks? Do you remember sesame sticks?
Of course I remember sesame sticks.
They like, I can't remember if that's Pepperidge Farm or not, but they came in a box, which is makes me think it's not them because like it's a deviation from their standard packaging.
Sure. No, absolutely. Let me see. Now I have to they have, well, obviously there's Pretzel Goldfish, which,
Oh,
what are your
yes.
thoughts on Pretzel Goldfish?
I mean, I enjoyed Pretzel Goldfish, but like I think if it was up to me, I would just have pretzels or regular goldfish.
Fair. Oh, you know what? They make tons of crackers. I totally
Oh,
forgot.
yeah.
They make like the crackers you would eat with cheese, like wheat,
Yes.
golden butter, that
Mhm,
sort of
mhm.
thing. And they make, I completely also forgot about their whole bread thing.
Yes.
They've
Oh,
got
yes.
bread and
They've
shit.
got bread.
Oh, they've got bread. Um, their big thing is like organic wheat. And it's like, nobody eats carbs anymore. So,
Right, that no one's like, "Oh, it's organic, I'll eat bread." It's like, no.
everyone's like, no, we learned it's bad and we have to be thin. So
Oh,
if we're
it's the
not
worst
thin, we're
culture.
worthless. Yeah,
Yes. It's our only
exactly.
value.
I know. Okay, so I looked up some facts. I already ruined one,
Okay,
but we
great.
have two truths and a lie yet. And
Perfect.
honestly, sometimes I accidentally do two lies and a truth. So we'll see if
Oh,
I
great.
was able to nail it.
It's okay.
But so we've got two rounds. Here are the three statements,
Okay.
and you can tell me which the lie is. Goldfish is colored with beet juice extract and paprika extract. Goldfish were
Okay.
invented in America. And despite cheddar being the plain one, they're actually plain goldfish, which you obviously know now. They refer to cheddar as the plain one, but
Right.
anyway, I
We all
ruined
know
that.
the original is original. Okay, so I know, but I
Yeah.
also knew that to like from the start because
Sure.
like, you
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
I think they were that the second one that they were made in invented in America is the lie.
That is correct. They were invented in Switzerland.
Oh, that seems right.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's just, yeah. I mean, I'm like, okay, sure. In 1958. So, where a lot of snacks origins are in the 50s, which makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
They were really into how do we factory everything. So, but yeah, so that's that. Here's the next
Great.
three.
Okay.
The fish on the cover of the package is named Finn. Two, the shape was created after the Pisces horoscope sign. Three, in Thailand, they have shrimp flavor.
Okay, I believe that the shrimp flavor exists. I'm a big fan of
Okay.
shrimp chips, so I
Yes.
assume that that must be true. I feel like they're not based on the Pisces sign.
You're wrong.
Oh,
Actually, I'm actually really deeply disappointed to find out that they don't really have good international flavor. So they don't have
oh,
shrimp flavor.
okay.
I agree with you. I love shrimp. I love shrimp chips. And I would love to see a buttery shrimp cracker.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Um, oh,
Oh, hello?
hello.
There, you're
Can you hear
back.
me?
Welcome
Okay,
back.
great. Sorry. Sorry.
No, totally fine.
Um, I fucking hate the internet, but
I know, it's awful.
it ruined my life. It's the worst thing that's happening in the world right now.
Yes. The
um,
only bad thing, some would
truly,
say.
it's honestly there's nothing else going on except my internet being slow.
Yes.
Um, no, they don't. I'm like I would love to see a buttery shrimp cracker, and maybe it does
Yes.
exist.
I'm
But
sure
chicken in a
there's
biscuit,
something in South Asia that
yeah,
like is doing that, but yeah, I guess
yeah.
goldfish aren't like as international as some other snack foods.
Wow, it really is the worst to happen. Okay. Maybe it's my fucking internet. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean,
Okay. Okay. You're
okay.
back. You're back in
Okay.
action.
You're back too.
Sorry. Okay, gorgeous. Sorry again. Life ruining, truly. Um, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to see it. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure they have the shrimp chips of some sort, shrimp crackers in Southeast Asia. Have you had chicken in a biscuit?
Is it a goldfish flavor?
No, it's not a goldfish flavor.
Oh,
It is
okay.
a chicken flavored. It's like a chicken flavored cracker at the bottom. It's usually on the bottom of the cracker aisle.
No,
It's
never.
super weird. It's obviously a very American thing to do, but I'm like, that should be shrimp. I would do shrimp
Yes,
that.
I would do shrimp. I would do shrimp for that for sure.
I'll go hunting in Koreatown. Not Koreatown. Yeah, Koreatown. I feel like Koreatown and Little Tokyo might have it. But
Yeah.
yeah, they did name the fish on the package Finn. And
I feel like I remember that for some reason.
I mean, I feel like with marketing, you got to do it. After a while, people are like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, especially after they started doing like commercials with and it's like, who is this?
Absolutely. And then, but yeah, weird. I love the idea. The dude in Switzerland, his wife was a Pisces.
Oh.
And he was like, yeah, I mean, what a great idea, which is cute. It's relevant.
That's nice.
Yeah. And it also appealed to kids. I was like, oh, if he's in Switzerland, I guess that's not Norwegian, but I know Norwegians love fish.
Yes.
It's
like, it's adjacent. They're close.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's all the white people over there with beautiful cities and healthcare. So good for them.
That must be
nice. Exactly. Okay, so now we're at arguably my favorite part, which is playing Fuck, Marry, Kill Polly.
I love it.
Yes. So the poly, let me explain the poly piece of it. I don't know. I've only had one person on who is in a poly relationship, which good for him.
Sure.
And he refused to play by my rules. So also Steve Hernandez, go fuck yourself. Okay. So poly is the partner that you have in addition to your married partner.
Okay.
So, you can engage as much or as little as you like. You can share them if you get real silly with your married partner. So you could pair them together.
Okay.
But they are like a stable partner in comparison to who you would fuck.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Great. So we have 3 categories. We have graham crackers, Pepperidge Farm cookies, and Lunchbox Snacks. Or it's called the Graham Fam, not graham crackers. So let's start with the Graham Fam.
Yes.
So we obviously I'm a huge fan of Graham.
I love Graham. I also am somebody who's always like vanilla is one of the best, most complex flavors. And people who I hate that we use vanilla to mean boring because Graham is just high concentrate vanilla.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's so funny. I didn't even know that there was there's actual Graham flour.
Interesting.
I had no idea, but I made Dunkaroos
incredible
over the pandemic. And I looked at recipes and the more complex recipes had Graham flour.
Ooh.
And I was like, I don't even know I didn't dig into it. Maybe it was an invention, not real flour. But I was like, this is fucking cool. Maybe it was just graham cracker crumbs, and I just really got excited.
I love Graham.
Oh, I'm a huge fucking Graham. I'm a Graham head, if you will. Okay, so here are your choices for Fuck, Marry, Kill Polly in the Graham Fam. We've got graham crackers, Tradish, Teddy Grahams, old-fashioned animal cookies, and Dunkaroos.
Are old-fashioned animal cookies non-iced, just the little red box?
Yes, the Barnum and Bailey. Yeah. Because those are Graham versus cracker cookie.
Right. Okay. And what flavor Teddy Grahams? Any flavor?
Any flavor.
I think I'd fuck Dunkaroos.
Love it.
I would marry Teddy Grahams. Polly with graham crackers. And then kill animal cookies.
Okay.
Unless they were the animal cookies that had that very thin sheen of light pink icing on them. Do you know which ones I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking
Not
about.
the ones that are like pink and white with the sprinkles. Like those are like too
Right.
sugary, too much. But like those like gently iced animal crackers are, I like want to buy. Now I'm like, I have to go find those. I need to buy those again.
You should. I encourage it highly.
Okay.
I love, these are all great choices, by the way.
Yes.
So I would definitely fuck the Dunkaroos also because that frosting gets intense.
Yeah, it's a one and done.
Absolutely. Teddy Grahams were a staple in my house.
Me too.
Growing up.
All the flavors, the cinnamon, the vanilla, the chocolate, they were all good.
And they have a vanilla, which is exactly what you were talking about. Yeah, exactly. I loved the honey.
Yes. Honey.
The honey Teddy Grahams were my favorite. That was like always, I felt my mom was such like a health food nut. I always felt like Teddy Grahams were like getting over on her.
Yes.
So that's classic graham crackers. Okay, I might agree with you. I actually love old-fashioned animal crackers or cookies because texturally there's something about them that's closer to, you know, those Dutch windmill cookies?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a little grittier. There's like
it's like
salt or sugar.
Yeah, it's like almost, I guess it wouldn't be like short, but there's like almost a shortbread element to them that like.
Exactly.
Yeah, like there's sandier.
Yes, I like to dabble in that.
I like that. I understand that.
Yeah, I feel like that is fun. So I actually think that I would kill graham crackers, even though we just went on and on.
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, because I'm a s'mores person.
Oh, yes.
Love a s'more.
So good. Love a s'more.
But then I eat all the graham crackers and it tastes like nothing after a while.
Yes.
So.
And the way they're packaged, you like have to eat 8 full like sheets of them or else they go stale so fast.
Yeah, and they're always broken. So you're like, well, I'm not going to leave a broken piece.
Right. You're like, there's a little chunk. I'll just like eat it. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I had 4,000 calories in graham today.
Exactly. Graham calories gets you every time.
I know, you have to work out. I'm like, do it for the gram.
That's so good. I mean, I would have to marry Teddy Grahams too. Yeah, for sure.
It's the best answer.
It's like it's classic. It's a shape. I love a shape. I love an animal shape.
Yeah.
But the old-fashioned animal crackers or cookies, like those, I feel like I would texturally, it would be a little bit different. And so I think I would like that. They also have a little bit of a different flavor, maybe molasses.
Yeah, there's something else. It's been years since I've had one, but like I remember the taste.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I want to go get them and like.
I know. Now I'm like craving all of it.
Exactly. Okay. So your final answer, you are going to fuck the Dunkaroos, marry Teddy Grahams, kill old-fashioned animal crackers or cookies.
Yes.
And poly with the graham crackers.
Yes.
Love it. I mean, it's hard because these are all great choices.
Right. They're all, you can't go wrong with how you make your choices in the Graham fam.
Yeah, I don't disagree with like any choice essentially, unless it was like if you killed Teddy Grahams, I would be like,
that would be a huge, but the rest I'd be like, yeah, I could see how you could get to different things. I guess we think that you should marry Teddy Grahams regardless. They're the best.
Teddy Grahams are marryable. Marriage material, I will
Marriage
say.
material.
Marriage material. I don't feel like they would cheat on you. I feel like they would be loyal. They're just friendly and like just a good partner for life.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the next category, which is Pepperidge Farm cookies.
Okay, great.
So we have Pepperidge Farm. We have Pepperidge Farm Goldfish, and now we're going to get into the cookie family. Okay, so we have Milano Cookies,
Okay.
Chessman,
Mm-hmm.
which is the shortbread.
Yep.
Montauk, these names, like you mentioned, soft baked milk chocolate,
Yes.
and Sausalito, which is crunchy white chocolate macadamia.
Great. Okay. I would marry Milanos. I grew up in a Milano house, and I would keep them. We kept them in the fridge, and
Ooh, yes.
they're so good out of the fridge. They're just so good. I've eaten more Milanos than like any other cookie in my life, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Love it.
I would Polly Chessman. I love the Chessman cookies.
Interesting. A lot of people do. It's a very, very like, I mean,
and it's like a sleeper, one that people don't really like talk about.
Sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
But like, that's one that I'd be like, I could always dabble or like really get into. I would fuck the Sausalito. I do love a white chocolate macadamia every once in a while. Like it scratches a special itch that like nothing else in the sweet world really does.
Yeah.
And then I would kill Montauk. I really don't like if I want like a soft, chewy chocolate chip cookie, like I want a homemade real one, not something store-bought. Like I've never had a store-bought like package, not like from a bakery, but like a packaged chocolate chip cookie that has ever been satisfying to me. Unfortunately, my mom makes very good cookies, so I was always just like, yes. So I'd rather have like a Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookie than like a Montauk, if that makes sense. Again, it's like the two different. It's the Domino's versus pizza. They're two different things.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's so interesting. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm also not a soft cookie person.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, I mean, like, if it has chew to it, that's like one thing. But if it's like full soft the way the Montauk is,
yeah,
or like the soft Chips Ahoy, I like would throw them in the trash immediately. It's really not. I like a crispy outside. I like the perfect balance. I'm pretty hesitant around a soft cookie, if that makes sense.
It does.
Will you eat, how do you feel about soft sugar cookies? Like
if it's like chewy.
Ones. Yeah.
Oh, like the ice. Oh, the ones that are like I know which ones you mean, that are like cake cookies almost.
Yeah.
I actually do have like a soft spot for those. Like it's not something I crave or like would choose over like other dessert options 98% of the time. But I think like once a year, I'm like, okay, like they feel more like cake than cookies.
I
want like I want a chewy snickerdoodle that's a little crisp around the edge. That's what I would want.
God, every year, like this time of year, Bon Appetit has a recipe for like snickerdoodle party cookie, and it's like it's so fucking good. I've altered it just a little bit, but it's literally like brown butter, cinnamon, cardamom, and cornflakes. And
that's great. Yeah. I love cardamom.
So do I. It's one of like the most perfect cookies, and I made them with Chinese 5-spice last year too. And I would say like very good, but I'm so on board with you. I love a snickerdoodle. I love a spice.
Me too. I love a warm spiced any dessert. Like I love like a spiced snacking cake, like a spice cake that you can like, or a pumpkin bread, or like anything that's using like nutmeg and cloves and like cardamom and anything in that like world is just like so wonderful. It's just like that warm, like homey coziness.
I completely agree. I feel like they don't have good crumb cake out here too. When I was a kid, cinnamon crumb cake was like,
love cinnamon crumb cake,
like equal parts strudel on top, or like whatever crumble, and then cake itself is like how I needed it to be. So no, I completely agree with you. Like a snacking cake is like pretty delicious. But yeah, I'm all about the warm flavors, which is also why this time of year, like holiday season, my fucking favorite.
Yeah, I love I like warm spiced holiday desserts more than I like summer berry desserts. Like I like
Yeah,
those, but like I
sure.
prefer like these.
I completely agree. I mean, like, also because you can make like a dope ass like cranberry if you want the tartness
Mhm.
in the winter. You can
Yeah.
do a fucking cranberry.
Or like even like a citrus cream pie, kind of like a custard pie.
Yeah.
Like I love like a sour like candied orange like custard pie. That's
Mm,
delicious. And like it's like the season for kind of that like tartness. But just like
interesting.
sweet berry desserts like don't do it for me the way that like either a tart citrus or a warm spice can do.
Mm. Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't like orangey desserts.
Mhm.
I don't know
I get
why.
that.
I just and I like get mad when they mix them with chocolate, which is not
Oh, I don't
popular.
like no, there's to me, they're very separate. Like, I
Yeah.
hate, like, that, like, chocolate and or that, like, fancy chocolate that's like an orange, that's like orange. I'm like, "Ugh." I either
I
want
know.
chocolate or I want citrus. Like, those 2 things to me, like, shouldn't
Yeah.
really be crossing paths.
No, 100%. I also like, I always will prefer a berry or unless it's like a lemon or grapefruit. Like a lemon
Mhm.
bar to me,
It's one of the top 5 desserts
it
to
is.
me.
It's absolutely one of the top 5 desserts, and you can throw a little berry in, like, do
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want. During the summer, every now like, I like a pie,
Sure.
but it's gotta have ice cream,
Mhm.
and it's gotta have good crust,
Yes.
and
Yes.
preferably crumble. I like a crumble crust on
Me too.
pie.
Me too.
So, that's, like,
The
for
texture.
pies. Yeah. How do you feel about pumpkin pie?
I'm like kind of neutral on it. Like I'm always down for like a couple of bites because again, it's that like warm spiced, but like I wouldn't say I crave it or like look forward to it, but I'm always like, oh, I could have like a couple of bites of this. This is great. But like that's kind of all I want. I'm
Yeah.
not like, oh God, I ate so much pumpkin pie. Like that's not
I
happening to me. Like
Our tastes are so similar.
I
It's
know, I'm
so
really feeling
nice.
that.
I'm really getting excited because I feel exactly the same way. And I
Yeah.
made a bunch of pies last year and sold them. And people were like so fucking hype on pumpkin pie. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I was so much more into the apple
Hmm.
and like pecan.
Yeah. I like pecan pie.
Pecan pie is very
Again,
good.
texture. There's crunch to it. There's
Mhm. It's
I love it.
gooey.
Mhm.
You can put chocolate chips in it if you're feeling
Yes.
wild.
Love a chocolate pecan pie.
Love a chocolate pecan pie. But yeah, I'm not a pumpkin pie person, but I am a custard person, weirdly
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, it's not the texture that doesn't do I think it's because, like, every bite is so the same in pumpkin pie and that, like,
Mhm.
because the flavor of, like, crust and pie are so similar as opposed to, like, like, a lemon custard, like, you get such distinction between, like, crust and custard in terms of flavor, but in pumpkin pie, I think you don't.
Yeah. I
So
wonder
it's
if
just
there's
kind of
a
like it's
way.
all the same.
Maybe I'll try this year. I wonder if there's a way to make pumpkin pie not gross.
I
It's not
think
gross, but it's
it's not
like,
gross, but it could be better.
yeah, absolutely. But people are like really lit on traditional pumpkin pie. Like they're
Mhm.
which is
Yes.
fine, but also you're disgusting.
Right.
Um, but okay, so I got your take on pumpkin pie, but I feel the same about what do you like? Do you like molasses flavors?
I do.
How do you feel about black licorice?
I understand why people like it, and I like anise flavors in some things, but it's
Yeah.
not like I don't seek it out.
Okay.
I'll like give it a whirl if like somebody's like this is really good, but it is like a little licoricey. I'm like I'll give it a whirl. Like I could be
Yeah.
and like I would say 50% of the time I like it, and then 50% of the time I'm like oh this isn't for me. But like I get
Mhm.
it because I like strong, like in my like liquor intake, like I like kind of those like very like Amaros and like things like that are more like that. Everybody's like, how do you drink this? And I'm like, it's a taste that I actually really enjoy. And I get why
Yeah.
people in desserts like will find like that they like those flavors.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know anybody that likes black licorice except for me and my mom.
Mhm.
Um, but I love it. It's disgusting, but it's like also it's like sour. It's
It is like at least an interesting like, I would rather eat something that has a flavor from black licorice than I would like just like a very forgettable like I'd rather dive into that than have like a big piece of red velvet cake necessarily.
yes.
That
Yes.
tastes like nothing.
Red velvet cake is such a like it's such a trick that
It
people
looks like it will be so rich in flavor and you're like this doesn't taste like anything.
right. Well, also because the cake itself, have you made a red velvet cake?
No.
It's like you put like 2 teaspoons of cocoa in it.
Right.
So you're not really, I mean, there's really like no specific flavor you're
It's
going
just
for.
the flavor is cake. It's like the
Yeah.
flavor is the texture.
It's a vehicle for frosting,
Yes.
is what it is.
Yes.
you
And it's like we
just-
all love cream cheese frosting. That's why I like carrot cake, but carrot cake is at least good.
Yes.
I love carrot cake.
Oh my God. I like just got so excited because carrot cake is one of my favorite cakes.
Carrot cake is like one of the best things on earth.
It's also like a snacking cake, like you were talking about.
Totally.
You elevated a snacking cake
Yes.
and made it beautiful with
Mhm.
frosting. That
Mhm.
is a carrot cake.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Yeah. Now
It's so
they're
good.
such a bitch to make. Like
Oh,
truly,
yeah. Shredding cake. Like, I mean, no.
yeah, it's a hard no. But I always dream about in Chicago, there was like this steakhouse called Gibson's.
Mhm.
And I mean, one thing I love about steakhouses is they give you a slice of cake the size of your head.
It's the best.
It's like
I love steakhouse culture. Like,
I know it's so silly. I'm big on portion size. Like I like a good. I will order a lot of stuff, but I would like enough that if someone is greedy,
yes.
or if
But there's like, yes.
I don't like 4. They're like, here's 4 deviled eggs, and I'm like,
Right. Okay. Well,
trashy.
there's 6 of us. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. No, so they have like a carrot cake there. It's the best carrot cake I've ever tasted.
Oof. I love
And
carrot cake.
I like on my birthday growing up, we used to get carrot cake. And actually, I think we got Pepperidge Farm frozen carrot cake when I was a kid.
That sounds right.
Maybe I think it is Pepperidge Farm, maybe. But carrot cake is a god.
The best. It's the
Truly,
best.
truly. Yeah. So those flavors, that's so great that you agree on that. I honestly am just
Of
so
course.
thrilled. I'm just so thrilled. A lot of people hate white chocolate. I don't hate it. I'm not
I
gonna
like
eat
it
raw.
Yeah, I love a white chocolate macadamia cookie. Like I get that.
Yes.
But like I'm not going to just like consume white chocolate. But I'm also not going to consume milk chocolate or dark chocolate that way either. Like just on its own as easily
Yeah.
as I could when I was a kid. I could like eat a Hershey bar. Now I'm like, I don't know.
I know when people are like, yeah, I would eat a Hershey bar. I'm like, what? Like,
No, it feels insane.
what are you doing? There's nothing in there. It's just
Nothing.
chocolate.
Sugar and like, yeah. And like chemicals.
It's a texture thing again,
Yes.
where I'm like, give me layers, give me like
Mm-hmm.
something. Okay, here's the last category, lunchbox.
Okay.
Lunchbox snacks is the lunch category for Fuck, Marry, Kill, Polly. Here are your choices. 1, cheese peanut butter crackers.
Okay.
2, Nature Valley bar.
Mm-hmm.
3, Welch's fruit snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And 4, a Rice Krispie treat packaged.
Okay. So like this is the genre of snacks that like I wasn't into as much. So this is like a more challenging question.
Yeah.
I would marry a Rice Krispie treat. I would still like fuck with that. I'm sure if I had one today, I'd be like, oh my God, gross. But like I mean, truly, Rice Krispie treats are great.
Yeah.
I would poly the cheese peanut butter crackers because I am a savory over sweet person most of the time. So like I love peanut butter. It took me a minute to start to like those when I was little. Like I was always like turned off by the orange color for some reason, even though
well, it's
like
weird.
I ate goldfish. So I don't know what the difference was.
Totally.
Okay. So Mary Rice Krispie treat, Polly, cheese peanut butter crackers. I would fuck fruit snacks because like every once in a while, that's like totally a thing that you can't like replicate in any other world. Like fruit snacks are their own thing. And like every once in a while, you're like, this is good.
Yeah.
And I would kill Nature Valley granola. I have a like 5-minute bit in my stand up about Nature Valley granola bars.
Shut up.
So much.
That's so perfect.
That's not to say that I haven't eaten hundreds of them over the course of my childhood and like early like career in the entertainment industry where they were at every craft services table.
Right.
But like they are just so dry. Like they're so dry. And like I don't hate the flavor that they have, but they're so dry and like there's two, like they should just be one of them. Like 2 is too many.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like you're getting a deal. Like I
do think you're getting a deal.
It's like a hearty cookie. I agree with a lot. I think I would marry the cheese peanut butter crackers because they're kind of gross, but also I'm into it.
Yeah.
I would Polly with the fruit snacks.
Okay.
And then I would fuck the Nature Valley bar and kill the Rice Krispie treat because I only think a fresh Rice Krispie treat is worth eating.
Oh, yes, I agree.
So I won't.
A fresh Rice Krispie treat is good.
Yeah. It's king. Well, you've been a fucking great guest. Obviously, I could talk for a bajillion years about food with you, and we will.
Me too. We will. We absolutely will. This was so much fun.
Good. Yay. Tell everybody where they can find you. I'll also post it in the info and whatnot.
Great. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Those are the only platforms I'm on. I'm not on TikTok. I missed the boat and I'm like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
At Alison Leiby at both of those. And then performing stand-up around New York. And I'll post shows on those platforms so you can find me. And that's it. That's all I do.
Podcast.
Oh, and I have a podcast. Yes, I have a podcast called Ruined, where me and my friend Hallie Kiefer, who's obsessed with horror movies, she loves them. I can't stand them, but I'm always like, just tell me what happens. Like, I just want to know. I want to know what happens. I want to know what happens in Hereditary. Everyone's talking about it. Like, so each episode, she tells me about a different horror movie that I refuse to see, and it's super fun. It's Ruined. So we're at Ruined Podcast on social media, and listen to it wherever you get podcasts.
Yay. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we will see you next time.